Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Global news reports that health officials in Ontario are currently testing a patient for possible infectious diseases, including the Ebola virus, following their recent travel to East Africa. The Ontario Ministry of Health emphasized in a statement that these tests are being conducted out of an abundance of caution and in line with established clinical protocols. They clarified that there are no confirmed cases of Ebola in the province, and all appropriate infection prevention and control measures have been implemented. This development follows the World Health Organization's WHO declaration on Sunday that the Ebola disease outbreak in Congo and Uganda constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus expressed serious concern about the potential for further spread and deaths, noting almost 600 suspected cases and 139 suspected deaths, particularly in Congo's Ituri and North Kivu provinces. Public health authorities reiterate that Ebola does not spread easily, and strict hospital protocols are in place to prevent transmission. Al Jazeera reports that diplomatic efforts between the United States and Iran are intensifying, primarily through Pakistan's mediation. Pakistani Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi recently made his second visit to Tehran in less than a week, meeting with his Iranian counterpart Eskandar Momeni, signaling new attempts to broker a peace deal. Iran's SNA news agency also indicates that Pakistan's army chief, Asim Munir, may soon travel to Tehran to help bridge the gaps between the two nations' positions. While a temporary ceasefire was established in April through Pakistani efforts, both sides remain far apart on critical issues. Key points of contention include Iran's enriched uranium stockpile, with the U.S. pushing for its surrender, and Iran open to handing it to a third party. Washington also seeks a 20-year moratorium on Iranian uranium enrichment, a stricter stance than the Obama-era JCPOA. Control over the Strait of Hormuz is another flashpoint, with Iran restricting shipping and demanding tolls, while the U.S. has imposed a naval blockade. Furthermore, Iran's continued support for regional proxy groups, referred to as the Axis of Resistance, remains a significant obstacle, as the U.S. demands a complete cessation of this support. Despite ongoing talks, Saudi Arabia reported intercepting drones, and a recent attack near the Barakah nuclear energy plant in the UAE raised concerns about renewed military escalation. International diplomatic activity continues, with Pakistan's Prime Minister Sharif and Munir expected to visit China, following China's recent hosting of Russian President Putin and former U.S. President Trump, though the latter yielded little breakthrough on the Iran war. Al Jazeera reports that Russia and Belarus have conducted a 3-day military exercise, featuring rehearsals for the use of nuclear forces in the event of aggression. As part of these drills, Russia has delivered nuclear warheads to various sites within Belarus. This exercise highlights the deepening military cooperation between Moscow and Minsk, particularly in the context of strategic weapons. The drills are aimed at practicing the preparation and use of nuclear forces, sending a clear message about their joint defense capabilities and readiness. This development comes amid ongoing geopolitical tensions, drawing international attention to the nuclear posture of both nations. Al Jazeera reports that a French appeals court has found both Airbus and Air France guilty of manslaughter in connection with the 2009 Rio de Janeiro-Paris crash of Flight AF447, which resulted in 228 fatalities. This ruling overturns a previous acquittal from 2023. The court declared both companies solely and entirely responsible for the disaster and ordered them to pay €225,000. Anders 261,720 for each passenger, which is the maximum fine for corporate manslaughter. Airbus has announced its intention to appeal this latest decision to France's highest court, maintaining its denial of all charges. The investigation into the crash revealed that pilots, struggling with ice-blocked speed sensors during a mid-Atlantic storm, inadvertently steered the jet into a climb, causing it to stall and plunge into the ocean. Lawyers for the victims' families argued that the companies were aware of issues with the pitot tubes but failed to adequately train pilots for such an emergency, a point partially conceded by Air France's lawyer regarding the necessity of high-altitude training. Prosecutors have previously criticized the company's conduct throughout the prolonged legal process, citing a lack of sincere comfort and calling the proceedings indecency. CBS News reports that Ukraine is implementing enhanced security measures along its northern border with Belarus, following Russia's announcement that nuclear munitions were delivered to field storage facilities for joint nuclear drills. Kyiv has been warning for weeks of a possible fresh attack originating from Belarus, which Moscow used as a launchpad for its 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine's security service stated that these measures, including stepped-up checks on individuals and properties, will serve as an effective deterrent to any aggressive actions or operations by the enemy and its ally. While the Kremlin initially dismissed Ukrainian allegations as incitement, Russia's defense ministry confirmed the delivery of nuclear munitions for training with Iskander-M tactical missile launch systems in Belarus. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte stated that the alliance is monitoring the exercises and warned of a devastating reaction to any Russian nuclear attack. Despite the escalating rhetoric, the war, now in its fifth year, has seen little significant change in its trajectory recently, though Ukrainian forces have managed to slow Russia's encroachment. A Wall Street Journal report suggested Ukraine has gained a tactical and technological edge, but cautioned it's too soon to declare a strategic turning point. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.